Hello. So I thought I will try capturing a little bit on what I'm calling as Kapaalabhaati. Yeah. And this is movementless Kapaalabhaati. Okay. And Kapaalabhaati, when you're going to say split it into its different words, this basically means that which enlightens or brightens, shines the skull. Kapala is also skull. Yeah. So in movementless yoga, comes from the paradigm of thinking that our skull opens and closes, kind of. It's like breathing, that our skull breathes. And what you could say you're having a Japanese cuisine, yeah, diet, and you have, say, wasabi. Okay, it's also the seaweed, it's a paste made with a particular kind of a plant. And if you have that, yeah, after an end of the meal, there's a paste of it. It may seem like all the breaths kind of like go through your skull and you just had a little kind of an explosion. But it basically just opens the skull spaces and kind of a little bit breathes your head. Yeah, it's an experience I had once. And I was thinking that's a bit like movementless yoga. But it's much more gentler, not this ooh thing. And then after some time you really have to, get your whole composition together. Yeah. Because it's a little pungent. It does something. But that's something to connect with. But it breathes a little bit. But in movementless yoga, you have a pleasanter, not that pungent experience of lightweight your skull. Yeah. Otherwise, it could feel like your brain is in a helmet. Yeah. A little like that. And you may not even know what's a discomfort. Okay. And it could all feel a little stuffy, and then you need some brain space, and you could be having a lot of thoughts and kind of cephalomalacia, the sense your okay, that brain's going soft, but it's also cephalomegaly, so to speak. Your brain sort of it's gone a little big with a lot of thinking, and then it's kind of inflamed from pressing against. But let's just say sometimes we think it a little too much, and then we build our own little world, and we need something to support it, keep it together. That's also when movementless yoga helps. It helps to reduce the thought a little bit, but in a way that it's not disturbing thinking processes. It's a bit like encryption of the matter. So you have a lot of data, and then you encrypt it into a zip file. It occupies a tiny little space in your computer. And then you encrypt it further. It could just be one little tiny little bit. Yeah. So there are many types of encryptions. The thing is, you don't need a lot of space. The same skull we have is sufficient to hold information. Yeah. But still, it helps to have a room, an attic with nice ventilation. Yeah. And that keeps the air nicely circulating. And your head, this is the topmost portion of our body, light. That's also called enlightenment. It's not about light shining up from your head, but about your head being light. And you're not taking yourself too heavy. In the sense, you're not bogged down with your head weight. Yeah. Head weight, ego, identity. Yeah. Okay. So it helps in that sense. Okay. So we can talk in terms of the vestibular system, which is the part of the hearing system, the air fluid level um, in the inner surface of our ears. So the hearing apparatus has the inner ear and the external ear. Now, this is the part of the external ear. This is the inner ear. So the vestibular system is part of the inner ear, hearing system. And it consists of 3 semicircular canals and a certain, a kind of ossified system, yeah, bony structure, yeah, and 2 of them, yeah, so it's kind of 5. But so there are, and they all have fine hair by which to detect, say, movements. So sound waves, the hair in this system kind of detects the waves and then transmits them through the nervous system into different parts of the brain, and then we are able to hear. So there's the Broca's area, there's the Wernicke area. So speech and hearing, and then the what is recognized is then processed in different parts of the brain, and that's how you recognize. Say when I say chair, a chair is recognized and not a table, for example. So there are several fine processes in the body, in the brain, by which one thing versus another is detected. That's also how memory works. That's also how sounds are recognized. That's also how, when we meet a person after a long time, we are able to identify, yeah? So, or a concept. So there are several processes at work, and they are contributed by our different senses: seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, feeling, knowing. Yeah. So they all have their own systems in the body. And we have a central processing unit, brain, spinal cord, and from there, all the nerves. So whole body is playing a role in our ability to sense and feel and interact and then communicate. So there is information coming in through our senses, and then through the processing that happens inside, then there is information going out, depending on what we're creating. We could be writing, we could be cooking, we could be singing, dancing. And what gets communicated to people is also from what is processed inside or not, and then what is ready to be let out. It's like a kitchen. There are many things happening. And some things are ready to be let out, some things are still work in progress. So each of us are a different production unit in different levels of readiness for letting our stuff out, letting people know what we're doing. Yeah. Okay. So keeping our head space, our helmet on light, is also what Kapaalabhaati makes available. So I invite you to bring your attention to your ears. Now, I may have covered this bit in other videos, but in relationship with Kapaalabhaati, this may probably bring a little more difference in how you understand it. So it's worth trying out. So I invite you to bring your attention to your ears, the outer surface of your ears, the fleshy bit of your external ears. And if you're having a difficulty feeling your external ears, try paying attention to any sense of warmth in the left and right sides of your head. Yeah? Because there could be some heat coming out of your ears. Yeah? Or from the left and right sides of your head. Because the temporal bones are said to behave like the gills of a fish. In an alive person, there is very slight movement of the skull bones for an alive person. Now, there are some textbooks which are talking about it. There are some textbooks of some countries which are talking about this, while textbooks of certain other countries are not talking about this. India may be one of those countries where they are not talking about this. Yeah, and that also may be dependent on which field of medicine are we talking about. That we have many fields of medicine. Yeah, there are some countries you're talking Dutch, I think. They're talking about the skull bones breathing. A lot of other textbooks are not, I think. So I don't know which country is actually talking, not talking. But from my studies of the matter, and I facilitate health clinically from a biodynamic craniosacral therapy perspective, biodynamic perspective. And also from my research and development, I notice that for an alive person, the skull bones tend to breathe very gently, lightly. Now, I don't know if that is working so for me because no, otherwise it gets really tough. Yeah. And then it's about uh, paying attention to fine details. Now, some people may not. Okay, it could also. Okay, I just need to just tell this. I don't know if I notice it to be breathing because I have been working on this for some time. Versus, for example, there could be some people getting prematurely aged because in my idea, craniosacral therapy, that craniosacral dynamism is from the skull and through the vertebral column, the sacral bone. They're having a fine movement. Yeah. Um, and I have been working on kind of softening and deossifying a little bit my sacral bone and my skull. So there's a fine rhythm between these two, which also is necessary for maintaining health and youth. Otherwise, your brain gets a little thinking like that, and you go a little old. And yeah, okay, so that's something to think about. Nevertheless, this exercise is likely to slightly warm up your head to a little more cartilaginous, not too skull thick, yeah, but something in between cartilage and ossified bone, yeah. So there is more communication, and this cannot be done overnight. So this would be kind of like stage one kind, yeah. So I invite you to bring your attention to the left and right sides of your head and notice any sense of warmth, the left and right sides of your head. And then gently notice any softness in the left and right sides of your head. So that could be your skull, your scalp, the skin of your head could also be soft. It's not like the skull or the teeth. Teeth is hard like bone. The scalp is more thin, in the sense more like skin, soft. So if you're able to notice any softness of the left and right sides of your head, you would still be noticing an aspect of your head that could be part of your skull too. Okay? Because, like a baby, cartilage over time becomes ossified into bone. In an alive person, there is a fine balance. Yeah? So notice any sense of softness, sides, back of your head, top of your head. You can notice any sense of warmth, any sense of softness. Yeah? You could sweat. Yeah? Could also be from the unfamiliarity of it. Yeah? Turn on the fan or the AC or just use a book or something to just fan yourself. It would still help. Yeah? And I must warn you, you may have to drink more room temperature water because we're working a little bit with the fire element and you don't want to get dry. So you would have to replenish with water so that your joints don't go dry, creaky, yeah, from water not being there sufficiently. Okay? Water. And after this exercise, I recommend you walking a little bit. So that between the left and right sides, a little bit of movement, a little bit of water you drink, and have some cucumber or tender coconut water. That'll also help to replenish some of the life maintaining factors. So you become healthier. Now, having said that, and also you could include some salad in your diet. Carrot, tomatoes, green leaves, yeah. Something that's colorful, tomatoes, yeah. So that they help to maintain the vitality of your life, yeah. The life maintaining factors. Now, having said that, I invite you to bring your attention to your front of your face, okay? And notice the softness of your muscles. Just like we noticed the softness of the scalp, yeah, the skin of your head. Notice the muscles. This is also the skin of your face. Yeah, softness and warmth of the skin of your face. So this could be at the back of your skull, front, about your face. And notice the gentle rhythmic movement of breath moving in and out of your body. So that you have your skull is, your head is not just one piece here. Yeah. So there's a neck, rest of the body. Notice the movement of air moving in and out of your body. And you're likely to notice some coolness because we've been paying attention to warmth in our head. The breath moving in and out of your body is likely to have you experience a certain coolness. Yeah, as air is moving into your body and out. That also helps to keep your head cool, kind of cool the matter. We've been paying attention to warmth and softness. Yeah. Drinking some room temperature water is likely to have you become more aware of the moisture aspect, moisture content. That's also an ingredient, an inherent part, integral part of being alive. At least 60 to 70% of our body is water. Yeah, in terms of blood or lymph or cerebrospinal fluid or different kinds of fluid. Yeah, interstitial fluid. Okay. Now, so it helps to replenish the water element. Now, having said that, I invite you to bring attention to any sense of moisture in your mouth. So we are actively paying attention to the sense of moisture. There could be moisture under your tongue because there are salivary glands under your tongue, or to the sides, yeah, closer to your ear, but maybe just in the outer surface of your teeth. So there's a row of teeth up and down towards the edge of it. Because when you're eating something tasty, you'll notice a certain pull from here. That's because there are salivary glands here. From there is a pull, and then there is moisture. Yeah, parotid. Yeah. So parotid salivary glands. So from there will be like moisture coming in. So notice moisture in your mouth. Notice any sense of warmth, coolness. Let's pay attention to coolness now because the head could be a little hot. Yeah. So notice how is the sense of air moving in and out of your face, in and out of your throat, in and out of your chest. And notice the sense of coolness in your chest as air is moving. If it feels warm or hot, try drinking some water, because when water is going through your esophagus, your food pipe, you're likely to notice a certain coolness in your chest, because then you'd be able to feel the movement of water through your food pipe. Could be a pleasant surprise. Yeah. Now notice the left and right sides of your head. And notice the softness, warmth, and any sense of space between the left and right sides, or any sense of space in the left and right sides of your head. Okay. There could be a sense of relaxation as you're noticing sense of space, a sense of warmth, a sense of softness. Notice if there's a sense of relaxation, the left and right sides of your head. Chances are you would be listening better because your nerves are a little more in tune with the muscles of your ears. Yeah, your vestibular system is likely to have better innervation from the nerves of your head to the sensory hair in your vestibular system. Because sometimes we have a difficulty listening to others. It could also be because the nerves are not as fine-tuned with the vestibular system. Because sometimes we hear so much and we kind of subconsciously close our ears. Not that we want to, but it's just sometimes there's so much of noise and not that sense of space and relaxation between your head and neck and rest of your body. But sometimes we don't want to listen to a lot of things because there's so much of information going on. Yeah, sometimes. Just try doing this exercise every now and then a little bit. Yeah, whenever you feel, okay, there's a point. Don't do this exercise for more than 10 to 15 minutes max. No more than that. Textbooks say 12 to 20 minutes, but that's Hatha Yoga, movement-based exercise also. So I don't know how many people actually follow that, but I would recommend not more than 10 to 15 also is max. Yeah. A little bit to begin with, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. That's also good enough because this is not something that you do a lot of, just a little. And I recommend interacting with me because I'm the founder. So there are certain fine details that you can then learn, which is better than done than not. Yeah. So you're safe. And as you begin with the practice, get into the safety of the practice, and then learn this step by step, then you will know how much is good enough, what all you can do. Um, so your health is maintained safe. You're not getting into entanglements and getting stuck somewhere. Yeah. Or your health getting compromised. You're none of that. Okay. Which is why we are in sort of the basics of it, a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Now, let's pause for now. And I hope this has been of value to you. Do let me know what you think, how the experience of this exercise is, what works for you, what doesn't. I do need to say, a lot of people sometimes have a difficulty paying attention to warmth itself. And if any of this exercise that I've spoken about is gone right above your head, don't worry. That's like a lot of people. Because when I started teaching healthy and natural breathing, I discovered I was explaining things to people. I even made video. And then when I was having a one-to-one with the person, I discovered they can't even feel their nose. And I thought they were doing the exercise. So sometimes it takes for me to ask a quiz or ask some questions to know if you've really gotten any of this. Yeah. Otherwise, you could think you're getting it. Yeah, you can do it. But there are several fine details about movementless yoga that only sometimes a quiz or a test will let know if you're in your own hallucinatory world or if you can actually feel what I'm talking about and then have the benefits from what's possible through movementless yoga. So do give me an opportunity to kind of give feedback on how and on what you may be sensing or not. Are you getting the benefits that's possible from this method of yoga, or are you doing your own thing and then thinking you have the benefits, something else? Yeah. So do let me know. Thank you so much for your interest. Good day.